Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In the last video I uploaded, I received a request to do a Shinobi guide. However, no one wants to see, the typical move set and all that boring basic stuff. So today's tutorial or, guide is going to be under the assumption that you know what you're doing with Shinobi, but you need some help with tips and tricks and the more advanced stuff to help get you going and, see more success with this character that has been nerfed several well, not very recently, but pretty recently. It's been a good couple of months since he's been nerfed this heavily. He's received I think he's received about 3 or so nerfs within, the last few patches that were received. And today we're just going to show you how you can keep this relative success prior to Shinobi's nerfs. You're never going to get the same amount of success, obviously, because things like quad dash are gone, your kick mix-up is gone. Well, it's not gone, but it's way more risky to do now. So we're going to go right into the few things with the moveset first. We're not going to be, telling you how to use moves and everything, but just telling you guys a few properties that his moves have that a lot of people don't actually know about, and I actually catch a lot of people out with these moves. Okay, so to show off some of these things, I'm going to be using the Nobushi as my opponent. Simply just because she's ideal for it. You'll see why soon. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is Shinobi's zone attack. Now, it's not a great zone attack. As you can see, it's a 2-part hit, which actually is beneficial. You'll see why, but this move got buffed a few months back, so you can now feint the second part. Now, this is crucial because before this buff came, this was by far the worst zone attack in the game. It was the worst, probably tied with Centurion, but I argued that it was worse than Centurion because at least Centurion got 25 damage with the first hit. Shinobi gets what? 15 damage, which is 5 less. And the second part does 10, so it's 25 damage, so his whole zone attack was the equivalent to one of Centurion's hits. And Centurion actually could confirm the first hit of his zone after a kick, so it was great for finishing people off. Shinobi's, it was just good for option selecting, really. Alright, let's just kill the bot, get her out of the way. That's not what we're here to talk about though, it's nothing about damage and everything. It's the fact that it's now a mix-up has given a new thing to the zone attack. Now, this has always been a thing, however I've never known it because I've never thrown the zone before the buff, because the zone was just terrible, because obviously it was a free parry. But now that people are actually scared to parry this thing, I've discovered something new that, okay, it probably wasn't me that discovered it, but I didn't get any help finding this. This is something that I literally just found. So we're going to throw the zone. Hold on, I forgot, we need to tell the bot to block. Here we go, block. Right, so we've told the bot to block. Now obviously your opponent is scared of that mix-up, so that's why they're not going to parry, because they don't want to get caught by a guard break. Obviously if he gets caught by a guard break, it's 40 damage and no one wants to get hit by that. So what they're going to do is they're going to block the zone and they're going to counter a guard break. So what you're going to do then is you're going to let the second part fly. And the reason you're going to let the second part fly is because you're actually plus on block. If you don't know what that means, it means that basically after the second part of the zone hits, they are stuck in recovery frames longer than you are. So as you can see, hold on, I forgot to actually follow through with it. As you can see, they're actually stuck in that, and you're able to attack way quicker than they are. Right, so we're now going to tell her to simply block then light. Right, so she's going to block both parts of the zone, and then she's going to attempt to attack me right after. Look what happens. She gets interrupted. And again, she has a 500 ms neutral light, so this is pretty much for every character. Unless they have a 400 ms, they might be able to like tie with you, or you'll both hit each other. But as you can see, anyone with a 500 ms light is not able to interrupt you. That's enough of that. So you now know that the zone is now a fairly effective mix-up because it can catch people that are trying to be overly aggressive, because people there are tons of people who will simply block your attack and then attack you immediately. You will now be able to stop them from doing that. Obviously. As you can see here, she will attempt to light me, it won't happen. You won't get a heavy off in time, because again, it's a 500 ms light, it will interrupt you. However, means you can now bait him. Because again, you're able to dodge a lot quicker than their attack will come out, as you can see. You're able to dodge almost immediately. The kick gives you 25 damage, but you've also got this. And if they attempt to dodge, it will catch them. However, it's a little weird, because the ranged guard break is dodgeable, which is odd because it's a guard break that you can dodge. And it doesn't matter which direction they dodge either, they can literally back dodge this thing. I've seen people back dodge my ranged guard break multiple times when I'm literally doing it straight towards them. And they've back dodged it. It doesn't matter which direction it goes in. You can literally just use it to bait. The thing is with the ranged guard break is it will catch them if they dodge too early. If they dodge too late, it will also catch them, but chances are they're not going to dodge late because they're just going to stand there and counter guard break you. There is a specific time, and I'm sure the bot will actually do it. If I just tell them to dodge, the bot will actually do the perfect timing. As you can see, it will miss. So again, this is a very risky mix-up because if the person knows what they're doing, they can legitimately dodge this at the correct time and actually get a heavy punish on you, because the recovery for whiffing this is horrible. Watch. The time I dodge is when I've recovered. So as soon as I dodge, that's when I've recovered. Look how long it takes for me to recover. That's more than enough to land like a heavy. If your heavy is quick enough, if you've got like a 500 ms heavy, say it's like a Centurion or a Gladiator or an Onimusha, it's more than enough to land. Probably not Nobushi, but Nobushi can get a guard break to land anyway. Any other character can just get a guard break to land their heavies. So it's a horrible, horrible recovery, so just be wary of that. Another thing you need to learn is the slide tackle. Now I would avoid using the slide tackle pretty much at all costs, unless the person is trying to he's trying to hold you outside the zone. If he's trying to hold you outside the objective, then you can just slide tackle past them, and you can get into the zone, then back away, recover your stamina, because if we turn on stamina, you will see that slide tackle not only takes off a lot of your stamina, but it stays frozen for about 3, nearly 4 seconds, which is horrible. But one thing you do need to know about the slide tackle is that the recovery on the end of it is really fast. So what you could do is you could whiff your slide tackle near the opponent. I'm going to tell Nobushi to stay stationary. Okay, I don't know why she's not standing. There we go. So you can whiff it near the opponent, and then recover. Okay, I've got her on dodge still. One moment. Right, hold your position. Don't dodge this time. Alright. So you can whiff it near them, and then go dodge away. So you could double dodge for a kick, a deflect. Again, this is something I don't recommend you ever do, because not only is it incredibly difficult to get a deflect at that specific time, like not only is it incredibly difficult to get a deflect at that specific time, but it also will completely exhaust your stamina, so it's really not worth it. You won't actually even have enough stamina to do the max punish, and if you do, it will run your stamina all the way out. It's just not worth it. So I would pretty much never do it, but it is something that's there and you could do. So I have seen people pull it off as well. It does look incredibly cool, but at the end of the day, it's just something I wouldn't say is ever worth doing. Another thing people don't really seem to know is the guard break from his left direction. As you can see, he spins. Now there's a little, well, I don't want to say glitch, but it kind of is a glitch, where you can actually pull this off in the neutral. If you have your guard on the right, you can quickly double dodge, quickly flick it to the left. Okay, but that was arranged. This isn't actually that easy to do. As you can see there. As you can see, if you do it without double dodging, he will simply just do the normal. However, if you do it while double dodging, he will spin, and that can really throw people off. The animation itself can throw people off, and you can catch them sometimes. Not only that, but it just looks cool. You know, I think that new animation looks sick. So again, not that, you know, not that big a deal, but it is something that's there and it can throw people off. Especially if they're, you know, if they think you're going for a kick, you can, I'm just telling them we should do dodge again. If they think you're going for a kick, hold up. Okay, that's kind of annoying. You know, if they think you're going for a kick, they'll dodge early, and you can actually catch them with this. Another thing is that we're now gonna go back onto blocked in light. Another thing you want to learn is something similar you'll see Warden players do, where they will throw the first heavy, you'll block it, and they'll delay the second heavy to try and catch you, trying to guard break them or trying to throw a light or something, and basically they're just delaying their finisher heavy to try and make you think they've stopped, but they haven't. You can do almost the same thing with Shinobi, but it's not as good. As you can see, the delay on it, it will catch lights. The delay is actually quite hard to learn, because a lot of the time you'll either just not do anything or you'll throw too fast. The delay is about like that, so basically you need to wait for your hands to just before they recover. And it can catch people out. It can catch people. You know, I've caught people multiple times in a guard break, doing that, and then delaying it like that. As you can see, if you do it too late, it just won't come out. So it's not the best delay in the game, but it can work. I've seen it work, I've done it myself. So it is something that, you again, can work very well. Quad dashing is gone completely. It's not, well, I mean, it's not completely gone, but it might as well be. Look how slow it is. I mean, it's absolutely horrible. It's more than slow enough for them to dodge both timings of each kick. It's more than slow enough. What I tend to do now is just, you know, tend to do that. Again, often enough it doesn't really work, but if the person sees you trying to do the quad dash, they will likely try and dodge on both timings. So here they'll dodge, here they'll dodge again, because they think, again, they think you're trying to quad dash. So again, that can catch them. It's really only going to catch bad players or people who's not paying attention or people who just don't understand Shinobi's kit. Again, it can catch them. You can then start throwing the kick after the second one. So once they catch onto that, you can then start just throwing the kick. But again, anyone who's any decent at this game can react to the kick itself, so the mix-up will never work. The mix-up is more or less gone. It's decent, but it's more or less gone. Yes, that's mostly everything with Shinobi's kit, at least all of the sort of obscure things that a lot of people might not know. At least all the things that I know about. Maybe there are more, I'm not entirely sure. I still haven't fully mastered this character, despite my 48 reps, highest rep character that I've got. Honestly, I just, I don't think there's much more to learn with Shinobi. Again, the most obscure thing I found was the plus frames on the zone. I mean, his zone is one of the better option selects in the entire game. And it's plus frames and it's a mix-up, so I mean, his zone is probably your best offensive tool in general. Which is bad because it does cost half of his stamina to do. It is great for crowd control. It is a multi-hit. It is a complete 360 degree. There is one more thing I want to show you guys, and it involves changing my opponent to Highlander, because this is something that I have done against many Highlander players, and Highlander is a weird matchup for Shinobi because it's either going to go one of two ways. The Highlander is either going to completely kill you in 2 hits, or he's not going to be able to touch you at all. And it mostly comes down to how you deal with his offensive stance, because his offensive stance can dodge almost everything Shinobi has, except one crucial thing: the zone attack. The zone attack is just the primary thing to beat Highlander with, so let's have him go into offensive stance. Hang on. Can we actually tell him to go on offensive stance? I don't think we can tell him to go on offensive stance, boys. Now we're gonna tell him to dodge. So will he dodge? Okay, no. Okay, so there's not actually a way to get him to just stand in offensive stance, which is kind of annoying. But I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this the opposite way now. We're gonna have a Shinobi as our opponent. And I'm going to change into Highlander. Okay, no, hang on, that's not zone attack. Where's his zone attack? Where's zone? Why can't, here we go. We're gonna get him to do his zone attack. As you can see, you literally just cannot dodge it. You simply will not be able to dodge it. If I try and dodge a bit earlier, there is one hit that will always hit you. The second part of the first hit will always hit you. It does not matter how early or how late you dodge. One of those two of the first hits is going to catch you. You simply will not be able to dodge it. As you can see, even if I dodge early, that second part will always hit me. So if you're a Shinobi and you're struggling to deal with Highlanders because of this offensive stance dodging, just throw your zone and then back away. You know, just completely discourage him from using it. And follow through with that second part if you want, or go for the mix-up. Now, to deal with, as you can see, if you do try and do the zone attack on them like that, they will again try to option select the second hit like this. Now, what your job is to do, once you start seeing that coming, because you can't guard break them out of it, what you want to do is feint the second hit and parry or deflect it. Deflecting will obviously get you more damage, but parrying is again a bit easier. As you can see, if he does try to crush and counter the first hit, the second hit will interrupt him. Well, the second part of the first hit will interrupt him. This goes for every crush and counter in the game. Every crush and counter light that comes from the side of Shinobi zone, if it crush and counters the second part of the first hit, the second part of the first hit will cancel that out. So you don't need to worry about this zone ever getting crush and countered except for the second part, which again, you can just feint and deflect. Now of course, if you don't feint it, they can recover in time to do it twice. So again, don't follow through with the zone against the Highlander, because again, it will not work. Okay, so we can't actually tell the Highlander to try and crush and counter anything. So, you know, what we're going to do instead is we're going to emulate it. I'm going to have him light after blocking. This is going to emulate what's going to happen basically. So, as you can see, he's going to block the first part of the zone, and he's going to try and crush and counter the second hit. So I'm going to feint the second hit, and it's going to look like he's going to try and crush and counter. Obviously it won't come from that direction, it will come from the direction of the zone, but I think you get the point. When he tries to crush and counter it, you deflect the light. As so. Fairly easy, nothing too complicated. I'm just hoping he does it from the right direction this time, because the top light's actually slower than the side, I believe. As you can see, you can get your full punish. There we go, that's what it'll look like. And you deflect it. Or you can obviously go for the parry as well. Get your full punish. Again, a bit easier to do, not as hard as the deflect, but again, it's easier once you know he's going that direction, because he has to go that direction. If not, he'll just eat the extra 10 damage from the second zone. So that's about everything. That's how, you know, you'll deal with Highlander. And you can pretty much do the same thing with Black Prior as well if he tries to crush and counter the second hit. Who else has it? Warlord, Valkyrie. You can do it with anyone who has a crush and counter light. Except Warden, obviously, because his only comes from the top. That's pretty much it for the moveset. Last thing I want to talk about this video is the feats. Which feats you should use depending on your style and how you should go about using them. Now, his tier 1 feat is pretty crucial. I use Bounty Hunter. In my opinion, it's an absolute must pick if you're playing Shinobi. Gain health and stamina when you kill another hero. Now, I believe it gives you about 15, maybe 20 health. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's 15 health. So it's really good if you have Remedy on Shinobi as well. I do believe he can get Remedy. Let me just quickly... Yep, he can. So you'll get 25 health on kill, which is really good because it's about a quarter of your health back. And it also completely refills your stamina. It doesn't just give you stamina, it will completely refill your stamina bar. Again, very, very good, especially in team fights when you're going to be using up a lot of your stamina. And considering a lot of your moves does take up a lot of stamina, you know, your zone will take about just over half your stamina. Your double dodge takes about, I'd say, maybe a fourth, a fifth of your stamina. So it's not that good. The double dodge kick will take up about nearly a third of your stamina. You've got others in here though. I've seen people use stealth to try and make the range guard break work much better, because obviously they won't see you on the radar, they won't see you on the HUD, they will not see you visually because you won't be on their screen, so the range guard break will be a bit more effective in that regard. I've seen why people use it. I understand why people use it. It's how you play Shinobi, and stealth just makes that a bit easier, but in my opinion you're actually better off taking Kai. Or Ki, however you want to say it. I've always just called it Kai, it's just easier. Again, it's really good. It stops people from trying to punish you while you're out of stamina, because if you run yourself out of stamina, you can just use Kai and run them out of stamina. There's no real point in trying to use Kai offensively as Shinobi, because Shinobi has no out of stamina pressure at all. Any decent player will just be able to defend against anything you do, regardless whether they have stamina or not. So, again, Kai is like more of a get out of jail free card, because if you're in a 1v1 or a 2v1 and you're out of stamina, you don't want to get hit by an out of stamina punish by, like, say like a Yorm or like a Lawbringer mix up. You just want to Ki them, get them out of stamina, back away, try and get back in the neutral, you know, get your own stamina back, all the same, pretty good. But in my opinion, Bounty Hunter is just 100% the way to go, and it works well with the current feats that I've got on. Now, the second feat, the tier 2 feat, the Smoke Bomb is what I use. Mainly because, again, it works well in team fights. It can mess you up sometimes, but if you use it intelligently, you should be fine. The main reason I use it is actually to use it offensively in 1v1 fights. And the reason being is that the recovery after throwing the Smoke Bomb down is next to zero. You can guard break pretty much instantly after you throw this down. And the reason you want to guard break is because as soon as you throw this down, if you're like point blank in someone's face, and you throw this down right in front of them, and they don't exactly like hit you or anything, because again, you will get people that will just spam lights as soon as you throw this down. At that point, you can just parry or deflect, or just back away entirely and chuck ranged heavies at them. But a lot of what 80% of people will do is they will dodge. They will dodge away. They will try and get out. They will try and roll away, but because of the guard break vulnerability on rolling now, the guard break will land quick enough. You can literally guard break them and get a free 40 damage, and if they're pretty stupid, or if they're not, you know, if they don't exactly know what's going on, you can even get a range guard break on them for like the 49, 52 damage, whatever Sickle Rain does nowadays, I forget. I believe it's like 52 damage. So, but be wary, because again, if they dodge at the right time, which they can, they will dodge the range guard break, and then your punish is effectively gone. I would always just do the normal guard break. You know, it's only 12 less damage, and it's confirmed. So now, obviously, it's not confirmed, because if they know what you're gonna do and they know you're gonna do it, they can just counter guard break it. The reason that I do it, the reason it works a lot of the time, is that the smoke it doesn't exactly hide the guard break indicator. The guard break indicator is still on their screen, but visually it is blocked by the smoke, so they can't actually see it. Because when you throw down smoke bomb, especially in someone's face, the smoke not only covers up part of your body where the guard break indicator would be, but there's also about a 100 milliseconds worth of flash on their screen, so they won't actually see the guard break coming. Of course, they could react to sound, but a lot of people won't, so you could actually just get a free guard break, and it can help a lot, especially in team fights. It can help a lot. Your other feats are shooting stars, which I actually used for quite a long time. Again, these are really good. It's 25 damage for each shuriken, I believe. Is it 25 damage or is it 15? No, I'm pretty sure it's 20. Is it? You know what? I completely forget. I might have to test that. I think it's 25 damage. I'm sure it's 25 damage. It's 25 damage per shuriken. If not, it's 15 and I'm just chatting. But I'm fairly certain it's 25. And he throws 3 of them now. The thing with the shooting stars is that it's also kind of an option select. And I say kind of because it only option selects certain things. It won't option select any kind of like far reaching attack or even many unblockables. But if you see someone, if you see someone trying to go for like a light attack or maybe a short bash like Yorm's punch, where he doesn't actually have much forward movement, the shurikens can actually help you out, because when you throw the shurikens, Shinobi takes like a kind of a small step back, kind of like how Sub-Zero does when he uses icicles. If you've ever played MK11, he takes like a small step back, and that can actually end up avoiding the attack. Now here's the thing: when you avoid the attack, they're also coming forward, which means that you're basically cancelling out each other's movement, which means they're not getting any closer to you and you're not getting any further away from them. You're basically just staying at the same distance. Which in theory means they should still hit you, right? But with the shurikens, it actually interrupts them. And because you're in basically the same range at point blank, all 3 shurikens should hit them. Of course, it's a bit inconsistent, but a lot of the time it could and should hit them. So you're hitting them with 3 shurikens, each for 25 damage, which means you're looking at a lot of damage. You're looking at fucking... Ooh, you're looking at 65 damage. It's actually... There was a point where people were calling it shotgun shurikens, and that's basically because that's what it is. It's a point blank 65 damage, all because they pushed a button at the right time. Again, it's really good in that regard. It can end up absolutely shredding someone's health bar, killing them easily. They're also just really good at finishing people off. You know, if people's on their last bar of health, chuck your shurikens at them. Even if they try to sidestep it, one of the side ones can end up hitting them. It's also good for crowd control. You can hit up to 3 people with these. I've actually ended up killing 2 people at the same time with these. And because I killed 2 people while having Bounty Hunter up, I got health worth for 2 people, so I didn't just gain 15 health, I gained 30 health, which was basically like a lot of health back for Shinobi. That's like a quarter of my health back. And your third option is revenge attacks, and which before the revenge nerfs I always said was a must pick for Shinobi. Before the revenge nerfs, and even before the parry nerfs, you know, before the parry changes to this game, revenge attacks were a must pick for Shinobi. You know, shurikens and smoke bomb were never even in the question. Revenge attacks was always a thing, because Shinobi had by far the best revenge bash and infinite in the entire game, where if he kicked you while in revenge, you would fall to the ground. He would get a ranged heavy, he would front roll, and then backflip you back to the ground before you could even dodge, and then he would ranged heavy you again, front roll. He would infinitely repeat this process, and you could dodge out of it, but you needed literal pinpoint perfect timing, or otherwise you were just stuck in an infinite. And if he had you against the wall while back rolling you to the ground, you couldn't get out of it. But obviously with the revenge changes, revenge attacks is not really ever worth using, ever. In my opinion, you're better off just stalling for revenge. It's not that hard, especially with Shinobi. So in my opinion, smoke bomb or shooting stars is where you want to go. They're both equally as good at killing, as good as they are as good at stalling as well. Third feat, Sharpened Blade, again was one I used pretty much infinitely. Not before its nerf in general, because even after Sharpened Blade was nerfed, I still kept using it, and it's mainly because of the fourth feat you'll see on the screen before that's nerfed, but we'll get into that later. Sharpened Blade isn't that great anymore, don't really recommend using it. In my opinion, you're better off using Nuka-Kubi because you do not want to run out of stamina with Shinobi, and it also makes Shinobi very good on the B point because you can just spam your zone on the minions. You won't really lose any stamina, and you could just keep infinitely zoning on the minions. And Shinobi does have one of the best minion clear zones in the game with the widespread 360-degree multi-hits. It's just very good, so it's very good in that case. It also means that you won't completely run your stamina down for doing Sickle Rain, because for each 3 of the slaps that you do on Sickle Rain, you basically gain the same amount of stamina back that you spent on doing them. So basically it means that the 3 slaps for Sickle Rain no longer cost any stamina, because you're gaining all the stamina back. There have been loads of times where I have run myself out of stamina while doing Sickle Rain, and Nuka-Kubi just makes it so that doesn't happen. So that's really good. Slip Through is useless, because, well, to be honest, as soon as you dodge, and as soon as you use the kick, you're already, like, the time for you to get that attack boost has already gone. Because the way this feat works is, it basically works on a time system, so as soon as you dodge, the time for the cooldown will begin. And as soon as it cools down, it will reset, so you'll have to dodge again to gain that attack boost. So you only gain that attack boost for that slim amount of time after your dodge, to which the ranged heavy doesn't actually land in time. So the only thing this will actually do is for if you double dodge, double light attack, you know, because that's something that I've seen do happen as well. If they throw a move that doesn't have high recovery, or if it's too fast for the kick, then you can just double dodge light instead. But the attack damage, the attack boost just isn't that great, so in my opinion you're just better off using the Nuka-Kubi. Just don't run your stamina down, it's much better. Fourth feat's Arrow Storm. You don't really ever need it. The only thing this is really ever good for is clearing the minion point, but because of Nuka-Kubi and your good zone attack, you never need that. Nail Bomb can be good, especially if you're running Bounty Hunter, because if you end up killing 3 or 4 people with this, you will gain a lot of health back. You know, you'll gain up to, like, what, 45 HP back, which again can be good, but again, Nail Bomb is made kinda useless with feats like Second Wind, you know, Stalwart Banner, all that crap. So again, it's kind of useless. I wouldn't use it. Yama-Uba, sorry, is just by far the best 4 feat. It's the only somewhat useful 4 feat, which is sad because this thing got nerfed to the absolute ground. This thing used to give you, I think, half the health for the damage you dealt. So if you did like a 24 damage double light, you would gain 12 HP back. That's no longer the case. You gain like 7 HP back. So yeah, not that great. However, it does still work well with Sharpened Blade, kind of, because you do gain health for every tick of bleed. But in my opinion, Shinobi just has already has enough ways of dealing bleed anyway, you know, with his parry riposte, his deflect riposte, his deflect in general, his Sickle Rain. You just don't need Sharpened Blade to get healing on bleed. So in my opinion, there's no point using it. So Yama-Uba just isn't that great, but in my opinion, it's just your best option. So this is more of a survival, like staying alive build that I've got. You know, you could just go for all-out offensive, you know, Kai, Shooting Stars, fucking Sharpened Blade, and Nail Bomb or Arrow Storm. I would still go with Nail Bomb because Arrow Storm is fucking useless. You could just go all-out offense, you know, just go absolute balls to the walls. But in my opinion, you're just not gonna stay alive very long if you do this. In my opinion, you're just better off going for the staying alive build. And again, these two are preference based. I switch between these two sometimes. I prefer the Smoke Bomb just because it's better for stalling on the point by myself as well. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. That's all I have to say about the Shinobi tutorial. I'm sorry if this isn't a lot, or if this is stuff you already knew. But this is pretty much all there is to Shinobi nowadays. There was more stuff that I did want to talk about, before the quad dash nerf. But in general, like, it just isn't that great. Actually, you know what? There's one more thing. Where's the hidden stance? We're gonna have our hidden stance high kick. As you can see, instead of following through with the ranged heavy, as you can see, they could be waiting for it, or if they don't even want to let you try and get away, what they'll do is they'll throw a light attack right after the hidden stance. And at that point, you can hold your charge up, and if you know they're going to throw a light after the hidden stance, you can dodge and deflect it. Of course, this is super risky, because if they know that you're going to do that, or if they just simply wait, to see what you're going to do. Why isn't that working? If they simply wait to see what you're going to do, they can guard break you. And you can't counter guard break out of this stance anymore. And if you dodge, again, they can guard break you. But it is something you can do against opponents like that, if they do dodge your kick. And even with characters who have slow dodge attacks, like if we swap our opponent. Who has a slow dodge attack? Kensei. If our opponent has a slow dodge attack like Kensei or Jang Jun, you can sort of option select it. So we're gonna have Kensei. Do Swift Strike. Let's see, where's Swift Strike? Here we go, Swift Strike. Okay, calm down. We need to actually make it so you're dodging the kick. As you can see, you can do things like that. I'll play that in slow-mo for you guys. And there we go. Okay, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. Was this helpful for you? Was this a waste of time? You know, did I tell you anything new? Or was this everything that was just commonly known to all of you guys? Let me know. You know, again, this was just something that was requested of me in the last video, and I thought, you know what, why not? Might as well just get it over. Might as well just get this done. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next vid. Peace.